This is my grain bin construction experience. This is the rig we came in on. You probably saw those pumps flash by real quick. They were red. There's Juan and Chris. That's Chris. That's the manager's son. Here we are, and this is kind of how we start the whole process. You put one layer down, and we get the ring going. You get some scaffolding going. Well, being out there so long, you start to want to test nuts. You want to see who's who and who's the alpha. You see, yeah, I'm standing back. I'm letting the youngsters resolve their differences. We got Juan and Seth going at it. I mean, y'all be the deciding factor who's gonna win this fight. It was pretty, it was kind of full-hearted, just for fun and establishing their dominance. See those beams in the back? We had to carry those by hand. I won't get too much into the detail of the bullshit we had to go through. I'll just tell you that it was a bunch of bullshit. More bullshit than I'm willing to kind of talk about here. So, differences resolved. I was out in the sun. It's the hottest day of the summer. Look at me, I'm red like a lobster. It was cooking out here, and these tin cans are like reflective. Look, Seth up here. See, so now we're starting to put together these A-frames, and that was a challenge on itself. We brought in a cherry picker for all that, and got to raise the scaffolding higher. That's McFarland. See, this fucker right there, he's the omega of the crew and then doing shit. So here's the roof. We laid it out. There's the roof put up with the vents, and that sucker, once you put the roof on there, it starts to turn into kind of like a convection oven. It gets hot, so you're in some pretty miserable conditions. Look at this, Juan, tough dude, man. He's a skilled artisan, all around good guy. See, he got fucked up, got his hand cut up, and here we're all like, oh man, that's nothing. Stop. And then he starts opening it up. We're like, oh no. Oh, he's like, I don't want to open it up anymore. It really hurts. Oh, there it is. Yep. So this is the view from the top of the scaffolding where we had to do most of our labor. And this is what one finished looks like. We had to go examine the roof to see, to compare, because we were putting up the ladder up on ours and we were comparing this one to see how we had to do it. So this is the view from on top of these I think 22 ring high grain bins. Beautiful view. Look at this. This was in Crookston, Minnesota, by the by the South Dakota border, North Dakota border. This is the view from the top. When you're out there, you don't got no porta potties, you make do, right? Oh, this was a beautiful event. Here, I had gone down to Crystal City or Crystal Lake City, Iowa. Halfway through one of my grain bins, they sent me to another crew, and tornado started developing. See, this is a whole different crew. Here's Randy. This is the guy that robbed me. For you guys that do these things, be very aware of what you're getting into. I'll just tell you that. So these pumps, this is how they do it. They they bolt the whole structure to these pumps. See, this one's almost done. Can you imagine all these pumps are lifting all that metal? And so he has to choreograph the speed of the pumps, make sure they all go up evenly. If there's a wind, these guys get nervous because this structure will come off. All the bolts, these things are bolted down to the cement, bolted to the side of the frame here. So this is the end of this experience, and I worked with a group of guys that we were pretty much out there trying to survive and take care of ourselves. It took 2 weeks. It makes $150, and lost a bunch of weight. It was quite an experience, something I'll never look back on. Thank you for joining me on this journey.